Now let me tell you something. When I first heard that Muslims fast for 30 days straight, I said, hold up 30. Like 3 to 0, no food, no water, from sunrise to sunset. I thought it was impossible. I thought it was some kind of spiritual marathon that only monks in the mountains could handle. But then I started talking to Muslims, reading, learning, and man, let me tell you, this thing is deep. It's not just about skipping breakfast and waiting for dinner. It's something way bigger. Because Ramadan, it's like God giving you a full body, full mind, full soul reset button once a year. It's detox for your stomach, discipline for your habits, and clarity for your heart, all rolled into one. Muslims don't just stop eating. They stop lying, gossiping, arguing, cheating. They try to clean their whole character. And what really shocked me was this. Muslims don't fast because God wants them to suffer. No, sir. They fast because God wants them to grow. Ramadan is training. It's like going to the gym of the soul for 30 whole days. And when you're done, you come out stronger, calmer, more grateful, and more in control of your own self. So when I asked a Muslim brother, why do y'all fast? He said, Steve, so we can remember the purpose of life. And man, that hit me like a truck. Because in today's world, everybody's busy chasing, rushing, scrolling, comparing. Ramadan grabs you by the shoulders and tells you, slow down, feel, reflect, be grateful. And that's when I realized Muslims aren't starving. They're strengthening. They're not losing energy. They're gaining perspective. Now listen, when I really started digging into this whole 30-day fasting thing, I understood something powerful. Muslims aren't just avoiding food. They're training the one thing every human being struggles with, self-control. 'Cause think about it. Anybody can eat. Anybody can snack. But it takes a different level of discipline to say, I'm hungry, but my purpose is bigger than my appetite. And Muslims do that every single day, for a whole month. Sunrise hits, they lock it in. Sunset comes, they break their fast with a date and some water. And they thank God like they just won the lottery. And here's the part that really got me. Muslims believe that when the stomach is empty, the heart wakes up. When the body gets quiet, the soul gets loud. When you stop feeding your cravings, you start feeding your spirit. That's why fasting isn't punishment, it's awakening. You ever notice how we're addicted to everything? Food, phones, coffee, sugar, social media, attention, everything is pulling us. Ramadan takes all those pulls and says, sit down. You don't control me, I control you. That's power. That's freedom. That's self-mastery. And the purpose behind it, Muslims say fasting teaches you to feel what the poor feel every day. It teaches patience, gratitude, empathy. When you're thirsty and there's clean water right in front of you, but you don't drink it because you made a promise to God that changes you, that softens the ego, that humbles the heart. Man, that's what impressed me the most. Muslims don't fast to impress people. They fast to improve themselves. They fast because it's a command from God and because obedience builds the kind of discipline that spills into every part of their lives. What really surprised me, and I mean genuinely surprised me, is what happens after sunset. You think people would just rush to eat, crash on the couch, and call it a day. Nah, man. Ramadan nights got a whole different atmosphere. Soon as that call to prayer hits, families sit together, they break their fast. Slow, grateful, calm, and then they head right back to the mosque. And let me tell you, seeing a mosque at night in Ramadan is something else. It's bright. It's full. It's alive. Kids running around. Elders greeting each other. Young people lined up shoulder to shoulder. Everybody moving like one community. And then you see the prayers, those long Tari prayers. Rows and rows of people standing together listening to the Quran being recited. And the peace in that room, you can almost feel it. It's the kind of quiet that hits deeper than sleep. It's like everybody's hearts are tuned to the same frequency. See, in Ramadan, even the distractions slow down. People stop gossiping, stop arguing, stop wasting time. They try to become the best version of themselves. More patience, more kindness, more forgiveness. It's like the whole month is designed to recharge the soul. And what amazed me most is how joyful they look. You think fasting all day would make you miserable. But Muslims say Ramadan is the happiest time of the year because they're not feeding their bodies. They're feeding their faith. They're connecting with God in a way that makes their spirit feel lighter, not heavier. It's a spiritual high one. You can't order on Amazon. You can't microwave it. You can't cheat your way into it. You earn it. And Muslims earn it every single night of that month. Now, let me tell you something real. Because after spending all that time learning about Ramadan, talking to Muslims, watching how they move, how they treat each other, how they change during that month, I realized something huge. Ramadan ain't just about hunger. And it ain't even just about worship. It's about transformation. The slow, steady kind that turns a person into somebody stronger, calmer, softer-hearted, more disciplined, more grateful, and honestly just more human. Because what Ramadan does to a Muslim man, if you pay attention, you start thinking, hold up, this might be one of the most genius systems ever created for a human being. See, what struck me is how Muslims talk about the end of Ramadan. You'd expect people to be like, thank God it's over. Now I can eat breakfast again. But that's not what you hear. Muslims miss Ramadan. They actually feel sad when it ends. I couldn't wrap my head around that at first. Like, how you going to miss not eating all day? But then I saw why. Because for 30 days, they step into this version of themselves that's cleaner, sharper, more focused, more patient. A version that listens more, argues less, gives more, complains less, loves more, worries less. And when the month ends, you almost don't want to go back to normal life because the Ramadan version of you feels like the real you, the you you're always trying to be, but life keeps getting in the way. Now let me share what a Muslim brother told me one night. He said, Steve, Ramadan isn't about starving. It's about preparation. God gives us 1 month of training so we can handle the other 11. Man, that hit. It's like going to spiritual boot camp. Your stomach goes on mute. Your ego goes on mute. Your anger goes on mute. All the noise inside you quiets down. And suddenly you can hear yourself again. You're not living on impulse anymore. You're living on intention. And the way they behave after sunset, that blew my mind too. Because if it was me after not eating all day, I might tear through that table like a loose lion. But Muslims, they take a date, maybe a sip of water, say a prayer, breathe, slow down. As if they're reminding themselves, we waited all day. We can wait 2 more minutes and do this with dignity. And you realize it's not just their stomachs fasting, it's their character. They're learning self-control on a level most people will never understand. But the part that really impressed me is how Ramadan softens hearts. I saw grown men cry listening to the Quran. I saw teenagers walking their elderly neighbors home from the mosque. I saw businessmen slip money quietly into someone's hand so nobody else could see. It's like Ramadan dust off the hardness life puts on your heart. Makes you feel again, makes you care again, makes you generous without expecting anything back. And man, that's rare today. We live in a world where everybody is busy, everybody is stressed, everybody is tired, everybody is trying to get ahead. But Ramadan slows a Muslim down enough to see the people around them, to see the loneliness, the need, the hurt, the blessings too. It's like God hands you a mirror and says, this is who you really are, when you don't let the world distract you. And I'll tell you another thing that hit me hard, the discipline they build. Because fasting is one thing, but fasting while working, while taking care of kids, while dealing with life, and still not snapping, not cheating, not losing their cool, that takes strength, real strength. When a Muslim tells you Ramadan made them stronger, believe them. Because when you can control the things you crave, food, water, anger, ego, suddenly everything else in life starts to feel more manageable. Problems don't shake you the same. Stress doesn't crush you the same. You realize you're tougher than you thought. But maybe the deepest part of all this is what it does to their relationship with God. 'Cause when you've been hungry all day, thirsty all day, tired all day, but you still stand up at night to pray, that's love. That's loyalty. That's sincerity. You're not doing it for show. You're not doing it for likes or followers or applause. You're doing it because you feel something. Something that pulls you toward the one who gave you life. And when you finish Ramadan, that connection stays with you like a heartbeat. You walk differently. You think differently. You choose differently. One sister told me, Steve, Ramadan reminds me that God is always with me. I just forget sometimes. And I think that's true for all of us. No matter what faith you follow, life drowns out the spiritual part of us. We forget what we're here for. We forget to be grateful. We forget to slow down. Ramadan is like hitting a reset button, a full system reboot of the soul. And at the end of the month, there's this celebration called Eid. I thought it was just a big party. Food, family, new clothes, all that. But when I asked people why they celebrate, the answer was deeper than I expected. They told me, we're celebrating mercy. We're celebrating making it through. We're celebrating becoming better people. And when I heard that, I thought, man, imagine if everybody in the world had something like this. A time every year to reset, refresh, rebuild, reconnect. What kind of world would that be? So, here's what I walked away with. Muslims don't fast for 30 days to torture themselves. They fast because it brings out the best version of them, because it makes them humble, grateful, generous, patient, disciplined, Connected, peaceful, not just for a month, but for the whole year. Ramadan is like polishing a diamond. You don't create something new, you uncover what was already there. And whether you Muslim or not, you can't help but respect that. Because anything that makes millions of people around the world kinder, calmer, more grounded, more grateful, and more disciplined, man, that's something worth learning.